Welcome into your space. I'm talking about the root centre in your body graph, the last of the centres we're here to discuss. So having a look at your root, you're either defined, coloured in, which is about 68% of the planet, or undefined, which is less common, or open, is about 32% of the planet. Now the root is a motor centre, but it's not like the sacral, regular and consistent access to life force energy. The root mimics the earth in my mind. It pulses. It creates pressure. It is also one of the two pressure centres in the body, the first being at the crown and this one at the root. The pressure at the crown, as we've discussed, out of alignment can bring the anxieties of too much thoughts, too much in the head. And the pressure at the root is it's a driver for managing the energies around you. It pulses at the root. This pulse pressure, as I say, I feel mimics the earth. And for us, it governs your drive, your stress. If you think of stress as a fuel, the right amount of stress pushes you forward and onward. It pushes up to your emotional solar plexus or up to your spleen, and it encourages the action, or up through your sacral, and encourages the action. It informs the right amount of pressure, the right amount of stress. So we all know that we need some, but it's being in the right relationship with it. It's being aware of the level of stress you're here to have. And that varies whether you've got a defined root or an undefined root. If we don't understand pressure, we can push ourselves too hard. If we turn pressure inwards, we can become a bit depressed. But a healthy balance of it provides fuel for your health, for your life, for your emotions to work through. So the defined root has regular and consistent access to energy that pulses on and off and tells you when things feel right and it's the right time. This is where I feel the root mimics the earth. The earth has time, defined seasons for different kinds of pressure. And the earth is constantly enduring pressure as we are enduring pressure. It is the response to it that is important, whether it's time to exert pressure to grow or time to receive the message of the season to go in. The defined root has a fixed way of dealing with stress, but it has almost consistent pressure to get things done and a consistent speed that goes with that. So it tends to be a bit easier to manage. When the root and the solar plexus are connected, if your mood is low, it can be hard to find the energy to do anything. I mean anything, even get out of bed. When the root and the spleen are connected, if the timing isn't right, if the phase isn't right, there's just no energy. But the defined root exerts pressure on its environment, on those around them. So if they're not aware of the pressure that they're exerting, it can be harmful to those who are not holding stress and pressure in that defined way. It exerts a pressure. Now this can be a useful exertion, a loaning of your energy to start the drive to get things done in a pulse. But if the defined route is constantly on and constantly driving an undefined route, it creates too much pressure. It's not there for that. It's there to pulse. I think we all know people that are quite hard on others for not being able to deal with pressure or deal with stress or anything else. If they have a defined route, it's a fairly simple process for them, or a more natural process for them. They're designed that way. But when they're aligned with their strategy and authority, these are the people that excel at dealing with pressure. And we all know those people too. Challenges, stress, pressure, they always seem to thrive. I'm not talking about the people that are permanently stressed. That is not the condition to be in. I'm talking about those who manage it with some grace and are able to pulse with that pressure. Turn it on at the right time, turn it off. Know that you need to rest. The root needs to rest. The undefined root, however, is under pressure all the time. Again, it's in a minority. It takes in the stress, the adrenalines and everything, amplifies it. So it makes it even bigger than the person running it in the first place, or the area running it in the first place. For the undefined root, pressure is really uncomfortable and they look to get rid of it. Complete the task, get it done. It's a driving need to finish, to get rid of the discomfort of having pressure. You'll find these people are often in a hurry to get things done, and they've got a to-do list that just feels like it never ends. It can be an addictive cycle, again, if not in right relationship or not aware of the response to stress. So they're here to be wise about that, to learn not to hurry to be free of pressure. That how to use it productively, should I say. How to use pressure in a productive way, but not allow your system to be under pressure constantly, because they're amplifying that pressure. Yeah? Extreme stress, panic attacks, stage fright, bits and pieces like that can come from these open routes. But the reason the route is open is for the energy being, the individual, to be wise about rest, to be wise about the pulses, to understand the drivers that are there for them and those that aren't, to be wise about boundaries, relaxation time and free time, and to trust their body, to know when this is needed, just like the earth trusts it's time to die back and it's time to grow. Just like we manage the weathers and the seasons, your body will mimic the energy of your environment as well, and that includes the home that you live on. There's a lot of potential at the root to, in this current climate, in this current environment, to hold on to stress rather than allowing it to pass, allowing it to pulse, and allowing it to be the motor, pulsing driver that it is. And listening to medical professionals right now, stress is a huge problem for a number of people not able to manage it. So you can bring real wisdom to this particular centre for yourself first, to say, is my route defined? I'm managing stress and pressure in a regular way, but am I managing it in a healthy way? Am I aware of when I'm exerting pressure on others, consciously or subconsciously? Don't forget, those channels may not necessarily be in your conscious mind. Have a look for those red channels coming off of your root and look at the amount of pressure you may be exerting unintentionally. if it's not in your awareness, you can bring it to your awareness now. This is working with the shadow. This is a good time to be doing that, to have a look at where those centers are, where those channels are. When they're coloured in black, they're in your conscious field. When they're coloured in red, they're in your subconscious field. One is part of your design, and the other is part of what you're here to bring. You're here to learn and discover about yourself. Other people are likely to see it in you more than you'll see it in yourself first. So if you have a trusted friend that can be completely honest, and that's the wonderful thing, to be able to have that kind of relationship in the first place. It's so clean that they can be completely honest with you and let you know, are you a person with a defined root that exerts pressure on others to do? And is that pressure proportionate or disproportionate? Was there a time where that pressure was helpful or unhelpful? And explore it. If you're an undefined root, be aware that you are not just taking in the pressure of your environment, that need to be free of it, that overwhelming need to just get it done so that you can get free of the idea of pressure. You're also amplifying this energy. You're making it even bigger than it actually is. And that can be useful in itself, is understanding that I will always amplify pressure. So how am I going to manage that? How am I going to look into that? So that concludes our look at the centres in human design, and I hope that this has been helpful to you. We are going to go on tomorrow to look at profiles in human design, which are another aspect which kind of explains how this energy plays out for you as a life path. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Much love. Take care.